Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about what should be taught and how. Let me share screen. Okay, so what should be taught and how to do it? So in mathematics, for us to start teaching a child, first and foremost, we need to do some homework. Now, what homework do we need to do? We need to um, do some assessment on the child. Okay, so why are we doing any assessment? Because we want to know how is the child doing, how is she faring, he or she faring. Okay, uh, what at what level is the child at? All right, so that we can prepare something that is suitable for him. Now let's look at assessing, the first step. Yeah, each child should be individually assessed using two methods: interviewing individually using specific tasks, and observing and recording. Okay, how do we check on assess this child? The child cannot tell you, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. You have to observe them, okay, by what they are doing, and record down what you see and what you hear from him. And interviewing individually too, yeah. And the things that you want to hear from him, the things that you want to know if he can do or not, you ask him those questions related to what you want to assess. So in that way, you will be able to find out at what level the child is. Yeah. The second step would be to choose objectives. Okay, once you have assessed the child, so now you know the child's ability, or the child's level of understanding, or the child's understanding of mathematics and mathematics concepts. So now you're able to choose the objective that is suitable for this child. Choosing objectives, once the child's level of knowledge is identified, objectives can be selected. That is a decision that can be made as to what the child should be able to learn next. Once you know this child's level, once you have assessed, you will be able to know the level. So once you know the level, you will be able to know what to prepare for this child next, to go to the next level. Okay, we always elevate the child. So for example, when if he already can do can read 1 to 10, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot of children can read, but can they recognize? Okay, so we test them and see. We ask, what number is this? What number is this? So by asking is a part of interview, and from the child's answer, you will be able to know whether where the child is, up to which level she is, up to which number she can recognize the number. Yeah, because by reading 1 to 10 is not an issue, but recognizing. So if she's able to recognize all the numbers, okay, what is your next level? So your next level will probably very much would be uh, doing 11 to 20. So that's how we gauge the next level of activity for them, or the next level of program for them that fits well for this child. As we said earlier, when we do a program for the child, we should always think of age appropriate and also individual appropriateness. Yeah, age appropriate, yeah, according to their age level, and individual appropriateness would be uh, individually all child is different and unique, so we have to cater to their ability and their needs and up their level. So the next would be, once you know that you are able to choose which objective, yeah, and then you can go to the next level, which is you can plan experiences for this child. What do you mean by planning experiences? It is important to note that the following naturalistic experiences should be emphasized until the child is into pre-operational stage. Okay, pre-operational stage we have mentioned many times is from 2 to 7 years old. All right, so we always let them learn through experiences, the touch, the feel, all right, the tangible things. Informal instruction is introduced during the sensory mode period and increase in frequency during the pre-operational stage. Children, toddlers, okay, or rather infants from 0 to 2 years old, they learn through their sensory motor skills first. They learn to make sense about the things around them by touching, feeling, okay, tasting, smelling. Okay, after that, once they reach 2 years old, they will learn more concrete things, which is the pre-operational stage, all right, whereby they start to increase in frequency, okay, of what they are learning through their sensory skills, yeah, which they learn representation. Oh, they know what how the father holds the phone, they hold a box, they hold a remote controller, and they start saying hello, hello, because that's what they see the father do every time. Structured experiences are used sparingly during the sensory motor and early pre-operational periods and are brief and sharply focused. Okay, structured experiences are used. That means you give them structured things to do. All right, so they will have so their experience will be also be structured. Okay, you tell them to do this, you prepare them to do that. Okay, one, two, three. Okay, so they will do according to what you have prepared for them. So that is structured. Okay, I use sparingly during the sensory motor and early pre-operational periods and are brief and sharply focused. All right, we are more focused on all this because we need to let them experience and learn. Yeah, it is important to note the following. Follow the learning cycle format, which is awareness, exploration, inquiry, utilization. For you to remember, just remember A, E, I, U. Skip the O. Okay, A, E, I, U. What is A? Awareness. E, exploration. I, inquiry. U, utilization. So abstract abstract experiences can be introduced gradually during the pre-operational and transitional periods that and increased in frequency as the child reaches concrete exploratory exploration. Okay, concrete means something that they can feel and touch that's tangible, but they should always be preceded by concrete experiences. Okay, that means earlier they must already know it first. All right, now, so abstract experiences would be, that means now for a child you put the let's say the number the numbers in front of him first. After that you take away the numbers, or maybe you hide away. All right, so slowly they will learn the abstract. All right, depending on the ability and the uh, uh, and how fast the child learns. Okay, so abstract experience can be introduced gradually. Remember the word gradually because they are still at the pre-operational stage. During the pre-operational stage and transitional periods, that means they're changing from one stage to another. Okay, and increase, okay, in frequency as the child reaches concrete exploratory exploration. All right, they start to begin to feel and touch and use more things to understand concepts of maths. Yeah, but they should always be preceded by concrete experiences. That means they've already know it first before you start uh, 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 introducing abstract maths to them. Yeah. So now, after teaching them uh, after having planned experiences for them, okay, this will be the time they have learned something through their experience. They touch it and they know it, yeah, or they touch the feeling of this. Oh, this is a square, this is a circle, for example. So from there they know. So next time when they just next time when they don't look, they touch, they know that it's a square or a circle because they have already seen and touched it before. Yeah, so plan experiences. Okay, so from assessment, you assess them. After that, you know already. If you assess, if after you know their level, then you choose objectives to suit their needs, their age, and their individual needs. After which, after you've achieved your objective, then you plan experiences for them. That's where we are doing now. Okay, that means they have to learn through experience, learn through doing, learn through being involved. Okay, that is what they will be doing. Okay, then after which the next step is you start teaching. Okay, you should be selecting materials for them first. Yeah, so when you select materials, you select the um, suitable materials, which is uh, I would say suitable materials for their age, quality ones, all right, and it's not non-toxic for the children because children be touching and sometimes they put inside the mouth, so it has to be quality. The plastic will not be easily broken, so there's no sharp edges that will cause some safety hazard to them. Yeah, so or something soft, which is also numbers whereby or things that they can count. That has mathematics concept that they can learn, big, small, shapes, okay, sizes, all right, or colors. Yeah, they can learn patterning, or they can learn uh, uh, classification, for example. Yeah, so what are the materials you need? It should suit their age as well, and it should be appealing, colorful, attractive to them in order to retain their focus. So after that, having the materials, you start teaching them. Yeah, teaching occurs when the planned experiences using the teaching selected materials are implemented. I've just talked about the selected materials. Yeah, so awareness, exploration, inquiry, utilization have been performed with care. Okay, the experience should go smoothly. The children will be interested and will learn from the activities because they match their level of development and style of learning. So when you plan a curriculum for the child that you have assessed, okay, and you plan your objective for her, and you get the materials for this child, and so is after awareness is exploration. Okay, that's where it is. And then after that they will be under inquiry stage, where they start to ask a lot of questions. Okay, so usually after exploration, whereby that means explore means what you explore, right? So the children uh, are at the exploratory exploration. That means they're exploring, they want to know more and things. That's when they begin to learn more and more. Yeah? So in teaching, if the activity does not work well for the first time, analyze the situation. Okay, in everything we have to analyze why that thing didn't go well. What are the things that went well? Okay, in order for us to move forward to prepare for the next course of action. What was the child interested? Okay, was the child interested? Why was she interested? Oh, because my activity is so interesting, because my materials are so nice, all right, that attracts her. Okay, why is she not interested? Oh, it must be something. Maybe she doesn't like the math, or she doesn't like the materials I use, or she doesn't like me. Yeah, for example. Now, was the task too easy or too hard? Now you have to analyze. When you're teaching, does she know the answer easily? Does the child know the answer easily? If he knows it easily without even thinking, then you know the level that you're prepared for this child is too simple. So which means, and if the child cannot answer, then you would know the level that you have set for this child may be too difficult for her. So you need to check and balance out what level is the child at, so that you can gauge the next correct level program for this child. Okay, did the child understand what he was asked to do? When you ask a question, when you pose an instruction to this child, did she did this child understand you? Okay, did she know what to do? Did she get the correct answer? Did she do the right thing? All right. So from there, you can gauge whether the child understood what you have said or instructed or taught. What are the materials right for the task? Okay. Your task is, say, patterning. Do you have enough, at least 2 or 3 items to show patterning? Okay. Well, were the materials right for the task? Or you want to do patterning, you only have one type of things. Okay, and no nothing different, everything same, how to do patterning. So we'll see, were your materials right or wrong, you have to check. Yeah, so were they interesting? You can see by the children, the child's response. Okay, when you are teaching, is attention drawn to your teaching? By that, with that you will know whether your class is interesting or whether she is interested in your class or not. Is further assessment needed? So by doing the first pro, curriculum or program with this child or first project, you will find out whether you need a further assessment or not. Okay, whether what you're prepared for this child is correct. All right. If you find that, oh, this one is just right for her level, then well and good. If you find that, oh, I've not done the assessment correctly, I've given her or him a wrong or inaccurate work to do, then you have to reassess from the beginning to find out his level, and then you will do the search for the objective for this child, and then you prepare the lesson again. Okay, the materials and the teaching part again. Was the teacher enthusiastic? Were you an enthusiastic teacher? Do you ask questions? Do you pose questions? Will you interact with them? Do you have activities for them? All right. Do you create the ambience of interest for them to study, to learn what you want to teach? Was it a bad day for the child? So what do you mean by bad day for the child? That means what you ask the child to do, she refused, he cannot understand you, he's not listening to you, he doesn't want to do what you want him to do. It's a bad day for the child, not you. All right. So this is the teaching part, whereby we have to assess ourselves too. Okay, so we have assess number one. At level one, we have choose objectives, and then we plan the experiences. They need to plan to play things, and then you need to select the materials, and then you need to teach them, right? And finally, we are going forward evaluating. Now, how do we evaluate the children? After you have assessed the child, so you know the child's level, all right, then you plan a activity for this child, a suitable activity based on your assessment. After you plan the assessment, and then you should go for you have to choose the right objectives to for this child, so that uh, you can so that he can the learning outcomes as what you wanted can be achieved, right? So after the choosing of objective, uh, you should plan some experiences, that means some concrete things for this child to play, so that and experience and touch, so that he will know and have an experience of the touch using the sensory motor skills first. And as it go into 3 4 years old, 5 years old, she will learn more and will proceed into more difficult tasks. There are more experiencing tasks, more concrete and more pre-operational stage, more representation. Okay, mathematics has a lot of representation to do too. From planning experiences, the next would be selecting the correct materials for the child. So when you select the materials, it will depend on their age, all right, and also the the individual appropriateness. Okay, whether and the materials, whether it's good material, is high quality, okay, whether there's any safety hazard in the materials that you're using. All right, so these are the things, and whether the materials are attractive enough to retain the child's uh, the child's attention span. Yeah. So as a child, the attention span is easily distracted. So what we can do is to ensure our activity is attractive and our materials used for them is attractive as well and suitable for them. Yeah, and it's something right for their level. And finally, after all these 5 steps: assess, choose objectives, plan experiences, select materials you teach, and finally you evaluate your teaching. So what has the child learned? Okay, you have to evaluate whatever you taught. Has he learned what you have taught? What does he know? And what can he do next after the concept experiences have been presented? After you presented the concepts that you are teaching, the mathematics concept you're teaching to this child, okay, what's next for him? Okay, that did he learn what you have just taught? All right. So we have to ensure that uh, this learning experience is correctly done, and you have to evaluate well whether the child is doing well in your teaching program, specially assigned to her or him, or specially planned for him rather, so that we can know uh, whether our program is good enough or whether we need to redo our program because it's not suitable, or whether our program is too difficult, we also need to redo. So all this we need to analyze and see if is the correct uh, uh, program for this child. Yeah. So in order for us to see improvement for the child that we are uh, focusing on. So these are the 6 steps that we need to do on what should be taught and how. So in every lesson, in uh, every what you call that lesson before we teach, the right thing to do is to know, to assess the child's uh, level of understanding that concept that you want to teach. All right, assess them. How do you assess them? Let us run through one more time. That is, you interview them by asking the questions, and by asking the questions that the answer you can get, that you want to hear, so that to know their level, right? If let's say you want to know whether they know uh, uh, whether there is a square or there a circle, you can just ask them, what shape is this? So there is a interview part. So what shape is this? Oh, this is circle. Oh, then you know she knows the shapes. This is square. And you know she knows the shape. That's interviewing, yeah. And also observing what the child is doing, whether the child is doing it, doing the play purposefully, or is this just simply here and there. So from there, you record down, put a record, keep a data, and from the assessment, you can move on to the next step, which is choose objectives. Yeah. So how do we choose objectives? It is based on the assessment that you have just done. So you choose objectives. It is always choosing the child's level. Okay. We want to know their level so that we can give them the right thing, just a level suitable for them to cope and improve further. All right. Not what you think you want, but it's for the child. That's the reason why we do the assessment from the beginning. So after choosing objectives, what do? We plan experiences. So again, what is planning experiences? It is letting them play naturally. By playing naturally, they can also learn maths concept without you realizing. Yeah. Okay. What is this? What is how to scoop how many cups of sand to fill this jug, for example. You see, they're actually learning. All right. Or they can so they will learn the counting, all right, prediction, estimation without you realizing, or they can give you an answer. They can do ordinal, one plus cardinal, one two plus one, 1 2 3 4 5. Oh, the last one is 5 cups. Yeah, so they learn. All right, cardinal. or even ordinary. They tend to put everything in order. Okay, maybe the smallest cup to the biggest cup in case they have it over at their beach. So these are the things that we need them to experience first, okay, before we give them even more difficult tasks to do. So structured experiences are what you have planned for them, and they are supposed to do exactly what you have planned for them. That is called structured. Okay, because you structure it that way because you want to see certain things. You want to assess what you have structured for them in order for you to gain correct assessment. However, structured experiences, they are used sparingly, yeah, in the sensory motor and early pre-operational periods, yeah, and it's brief and sharply focused. They are they are they don't use a lot, but it's brief and it's very sharp. All right, we want to know what they can do, what we want to know. We structure it because we want to know exactly what we are assessing and to get the answer. Yeah. So also, uh, the planning experiences will also follow a cycle format, which is AEIU. Awareness, A for awareness, E for exploration, I for inquiry, U for utilization, AEIU. So abstract experiences can be introduced gradually to them. All right, that means you put the thing there, ask them, okay, this ball is here. Suddenly you take away, where's the ball? If they know how to go and look for the ball, that means their abstract is already there. Yeah, unless you take away the ball, they don't know where, that means it's not there yet. Yeah. So so after planning experiences, we have to select the materials, the correct materials for them according to their age and according to their individual appropriateness. Yeah. So what kind of material should we choose? Uh, Colorful, attractive, non-toxic, okay, no safety hazard, okay, no sharp ends cut here, no sharp broken plastics that can cut them, or maybe something soft, maybe the dry dough, yeah, something soft that is easy to handle and interesting for them. Okay, something appealing that can attract and retain their attention span when you are teaching them. So after selecting the materials, the correct materials for them according to their age appropriateness and their individual appropriateness, we start teaching them. Okay, when we teach them, we ask questions and also we follow the four steps, which is AEIU, awareness, exploration, inquiry, and utilization. All right, so you let them be aware of what they are doing, let them explore, you let them ask questions and make use of what you have taught them. Yeah. Okay. So A, E, I, U have been performed with care. Okay. The experience should go smoothly. Okay. The children will be interested and will learn from the activities because they match their level of development. Okay. And their style of learning. And the materials get their attention too, which is very important. Okay. So after teaching, all right, we have to also analyze what we thought. Is it suitable for them? Is it too easy? Is it too difficult? Or is it just nice? Or did the child like your teaching? Okay, so after teaching, the last would be our evaluation. In everything we do, we must evaluate in order for us to find out where we are this time. It's not so much of, yeah, it's also both where the child is and where we are. Okay, to evaluate whether the child has learned or not. By evaluating whether the child has learned or not, you will know whether your program, your project suit the child or not. Okay, or whether the child has learned anything, or whether the child like you to teach, for example. Okay, what does he know and what he can do next is where the evaluation comes in for us to prepare this child for the next course of project, to bring him to the next level. So that's all for this session, which we are talking about what should be taught and how. Thank you.